Letters I Wear from My Father, a memoir performance, performed and written by myself, Sharon Rula Backos. Welcome to Letters I Wear from My Father. I'm going to start by saying that when my father died, I fell apart. I lost roots to family I didn't know I needed. I lost my chance to heal. I lost the one person in my life who hurt me the most. When my father dies, I would say, I will spit on his grave. I've learned one thing. I say a lot of things I don't mean. Oh, I wish I had a paper doll to call my own, a doll that other fellas cannot steal. Then those flirty, flirty guys with those flirty, flirty eyes will have to flirt with dollies that are real. When I come home at night, she'll be waiting. She'll be the truest doll in all this world. Oh, I'd rather have a paper doll to call my own than have a fickle-minded real-life girl. Who was my father? He fought in World War II. He sang the song Paper Doll to me. He was someone who had a girlfriend named Margaret. Who was he? Who was my father? Who knows? Who cares? He was the Sandman, the Jazz Man, the Tuesday Man who brought hamburgers and French fries. He was the mystery man, the moonless man, the wandering man who lost his words of love. He was a man I called Daddy, a daddy who was never home. He gave me his name, he gave me his face. He gave me a world sweetened with disgrace. I look like him, I talk like him, just like my dad. Makes me so mad. Who the hell was my dad? Now dead, living in my head, now buried, forever carried in these letters. The day Pearl Harbor was bombed was the day my parents met. This was not a date. They met in jail. December 7th, 1941. My mother was with her two sisters and a friend, visiting his cousin, Tommy, my future father. My mother didn't know what my father was in jail for because she didn't actually know him. She sat at the far end of the bench, not saying a word. My father never talked to my mother, never looked at my mother, never even acknowledged my mother once during that jail visit. And it wasn't until 2 weeks later when he got out of jail because he was going to go fight in World War II did he approach her. So there was my mother upstairs in her bedroom, copying music by hand. Her dream was to become a concert pianist, but in her words, she made too many mistakes. And my mother did not believe in mistakes. She strove for perfection. That's why she went out with my father. In her eyes, his looks were perfect. Honk, 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 honk. A car horn came out of nowhere. My mother poked her head out the window and looked down. Honk, 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 honk. Someone was in a car, motioning to her. My sisters aren't home, she said. Oh, no, 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 no. I want you. Come on down. Come for a ride. I can't. My father won't let me come with you without a chaperone. I don't even know you. Okay, I'll be right back. And he did. My father came right back with his uncle, who happened to know my mother's father. So she was able to get in the car, and the three of them drove off to get ice cream. My mother and father had four things in common. They were both first generation Greeks. They were both firstborn children. They both loved music. My mother played the piano and the violin. My father played the saxophone and the trumpet. And they were both in love. I know they were in love because I have their letters to prove it. Letters from 1942 to 1945, the 4 years my father was in the war. When I think about my father and what he and I had in common, well, we are both firstborn children. We look alike. We have the same handwriting. We both take in stray animals, and neither one of us has ever been faithful to our partners. I don't know a lot about my father. It's not that he died when I was young. He didn't. He died when I was 48 in 1998 on August the 6th in a veterans hospital in Detroit, Michigan. I thought it was from a heart attack, but my mother said, "Oh, I don't know what he died from. All I know is I saw your father one day in Meijer's supermarket and he looked awful. He was riding around in a motorized cart and he looked like a big fat pumpkin. Oh, and he used to be so good looking." He was 77 when he died, or maybe he was 78 or 79. And to be honest with you, I don't know if he actually died on August the 6th. It could have been the 5th or the 4th. On the day I was born, no one even knew my mother was pregnant. She hid it well. The nurses called me Eskimo baby. I came out with a head of thick black hair. On the day I was born, January 31st, 1950, my father was in jail. The police raided our house looking for guns my father might have been hiding. After the police rifled through the house, one of the officers turned to my mother and said, "Lady, you have the cleanest house I have ever seen." On the day I was born, the world was cobalt blue, rugged and dramatic like my Greek heritage. My life lives in this color that was made for me. "He's watching you," the psychic said. "You see, I went to go see a psychic because I seem to attract and be attracted to men who are like my father. And I wanted to see if my luck was going to change. So I met the psychics, and instantly she says, 'Ooh, your father's watching over you.' I was stunned. My father never gave two shits for me when he was alive. And now that he's dead, he's concerned." Then the psychic said, "Who's Margaret?" I looked at her in shock. His mistress of 40 years. Why? She turned to me with a weird and serious look on her face and said, "Oh, well, your father wants you to know that he loved your mother very much. He just wants you to know that." Bullshit, I thought. Oh, I was livid. I stormed out of there, vowing to never go see another psychic again. And I'm still really upset. And all I could do is just sit in a chair, just staring at my computer, when all of a sudden I felt this force gently nudging my shoulder. This energy was literally pushing me to look down. And that's when I found them, the letters. I had forgotten about the letters. 6 months earlier, I had moved my mother in with me from Michigan, and I was cleaning everything out of her basement. And all of a sudden, I see this big old dusty box in the corner. "Hey, Mom, what's this?" "Oh, throw that shit out. It's just stupid letters when your father was in the war." "Oh, well, I didn't throw them out. You could say I stole the letters. I brought them back to New York with me. I didn't know why. I just knew I needed to. I did not know that this box of letters would change my life forever. This box held the letters that kept my mother and father together for 4 years during World War II. While the world was at war, my parents were in love, and this box proved it. The psychic was right. My father did love my mother. "So now do you believe in love?" my father wrote. "I won't stop believing until you do. I know In the beginning, you said you didn't believe in love, but sweetheart, you have to, because I will never stop loving you. I will love you until the day I die. They had 3 months together before my father had to leave. And he wanted to marry my mother before he went off to war. But my mother, being as practical as she is, said, "Oh, no. If we are still together when you get back, then I will." He tried to reassure her that he was not stuck up, like my mother insinuated. "I'm not stuck up. And I was interested in you right from the beginning, not your sisters. I know a good thing when I see it. You are the only woman who has ever opened my heart to love." To be honest with you, I felt a little sorry for my father because I could never envision my mother in love. Not romantically, anyway. But when I started to read these letters, a whole new world opened up to me. I realized that these letters are my life before my life. These letters are a direct link to my parents' heart and life when they were young and in love. And to think that these letters had lain dormant down my mother's basement for 70 years, and now these letters have taken on a life of their own, inviting me in. And I have to tell you that I was getting really emotional. I was starting to cry because here I was staring at my father's handwriting for the first time. And his handwriting was exactly like mine, sloppy and free. I had to know more. I had to know the father I never knew. I didn't have my father's love when I was growing up. So I have become a thief. I have stolen every ounce of love out of my father's letters. What are letters but words expressing feelings? What are feelings but emotions trapped, looking for a home? And that home lives and breathes under the weight of the paper, under the hand that holds and carries the heart through the rhythm of the pen. When I was young, my father would tease me by calling me Funny Face, and he would sing to me in the morning while he shaved. "I'm gonna buy a paper doll that I can call my own, a doll that other fellas cannot steal. And then those flirty, flirty guys with those flirty, flirty eyes will have to flirt with dollies that are real. When I come home at night, she'll be waiting. She'll be the truest doll in all this world. Oh, I'd rather have a paper doll to call my own than have a fickle-minded real-life girl." When I found out you had died, I cried. I didn't think I could. I didn't think I would. So many miles hiding behind so many years. How long has it been, Daddy, since the last time I saw you? It was 1987 on your mother's deathbed. I was leaving, you were coming, a few hellos in that awkward moment of dysfunction. You were a handsome man, and I guess I should thank you for that, for I am your mirrored image, your firstborn, the one that saw it all, saw the coming, the going, the women, saw the coming, the going, the women, the coming, the going, the women. And what was I, Daddy? I was your paper doll tucked cleverly away in your pocket. And when no one was looking, you would pull me out and use me. Oh, I wish I had a paper doll to call my own, a doll that other fellas cannot steal. When I found out you had died, I cried. I didn't think I could. I didn't think I would. How do you pull words out of paper and make them stick to your skin and make them fill in all the empty spaces of forgotten flesh. How do you pull words out of paper and find meaning? I'll tell you how. Letter by letter, gently, tenderly, extracting each word from each sentence, from each paragraph, from each urgent display of raw emotions until nothing is left but your breath. Until you meet each letter squarely in the face, as if it were the last, the only letter in the alphabet, the one and only letter that can and will save your life. This is my journey back home. This is a sacred voyage back to myself. This is blood memory, a pilgrimage into love. These are the letters I wear from my father. Let these letters penetrate my skin and fill my heart. Let these letters heal me, save me, make me strong. Father, as your daughter, I embrace these letters with love as I make your letters mine. The letter F is for father, the one I always wanted, the one I never had. F is for family. My father had 4 brothers. 3 fought in World War II with him. And F is especially for Fofuta. Fofuta is a Greek word meaning toothless. That is what my grandmother called Margaret, my father's girlfriend. Fofuta, because Margaret had all of her teeth removed. F is for funeral. Pam and Debbie, my father's 2 children he had with Margaret, took care of my father's funeral arrangements because my family was never acknowledged. Not my mother, his real surviving wife, not my brother, his only surviving son, and not me, his eldest surviving daughter. I never went to my father's funeral. It would have upset my mother too much. So I never got to say goodbye. The truth is, it's important to say goodbye. Very important. The letter A is for Alice, another one of my father's girlfriends. Alice had thin, penciled in eyebrows and bleached blonde hair that she wore in a French twist. And she also had a 7-year-old son named Stephen. When I was 5 years old, Alice did the unthinkable. She gave me a present of 7 pairs of underpants with the days of the week sewn on the front. I was horrified because she gave me these underpants in front of a boy, her son, Stephen. A is also for Australia. My father was stationed there for a year during the war in 1943. And when he was there, he had a girlfriend named Joy. Because I know, because I found her sloppily written letters to my father. Tommy, why haven't you written me? I miss you. I love you. It will drive me crazy if I don't receive some mail from you soon. It's been 9 months, but I still want you more than anything else. And I didn't mean it when I said I would marry another American soldier if I didn't hear from you soon. Please write. Love, Joy. My mother's letters, on the other hand, were always so elegant and refined, and she had the most beautiful handwriting. Honey, I think about you all the time. I had a dream about you last night. I dreamt that I received about a half a dozen letters from you, and you were being sent up some river. Gee, sweetheart, I hope you haven't been sent across yet. Say, lover, have they started training you yet to be a bugler? And how is your music coming along? Do you still practice a lot? Are you still in a band? I love you, sweetheart. Being with you is like being in paradise. Love, your baby, Sophia. The letter T is for Thomas, my father's name. His parents called him Tom. My mother called him Tom. His war buddies called him Tommy, and so did Margaret. T is for Tuesday. Tuesday was the day of the week my father would visit my brother and I. And when he would come over, he would play with us by turning out the lights and taking his two front teeth out and chasing us around the house in the dark while we screamed with delight. On Tuesdays, when my father would visit, he would always bring us White Castle hamburgers, French fries, and milkshakes. Tuesdays came every week, but not my father. That's when I learned the art of waiting. Sit, play with my paper dolls, and don't complain. T is also for therapy. I was in therapy for 3 years while writing this play. April 23rd, 1943. Private Thomas Backos to Sophia Conjeras. Hello, sweetheart. How is my little baby feeling today? Well, fine. Yeah, gee, I hope so. As for myself, I am feeling swell. I got one of your sweet letters today, and you asked me if I remembered about the time we went to the Strand Theater and you forgot your glasses. How can I ever forget, baby? Years may come and years may go, but I don't think I will ever forget even a minute of the sweet times we had together. I never dreamed I would ever meet a nice, sweet girl like you and love you as much as I do. I mean, if someone would have told me that a few years ago, I would think that they were crazy. But I found out that I'm the crazy one, honey. Crazy over you, my dear. I will never stop loving you. You asked me if I you asked me if I missed you as much as you missed me. But I'll miss you every minute of the day until I can have you in my arms again and tell you how wonderful you are. Well, baby, I will be closing now to the sweetest kid in the world. And that's every bit of you, sweetheart. P.S. My love for you will never end, but will go on forever and ever. Always your baby, Tommy. The letter H is for home. When my father came home after the war, he had a lot of money, and most of it came from gambling. H is for hair, which my mother lost every stitch of hair on her head because of alopecia. It would fall and grow and fall and grow, but that is a one thing she loved about my father because she said, oh, no, he didn't care one bit. He loved me bald. He loved me with the wig. He loved me with hair. My father's hair was black and thick, thick until the day he died. H is for handsome. My father was very handsome, which was very important to my mother. Oh, yes, my mother would always say, your father was a very, very handsome man. That's why I was with him. I guess you could call me shallow. And H is for honor. My father was proud to be fighting against Hitler. I get so angry, he wrote, with men who don't help fight this war. The letter E is for engagement. When my mother and father became engaged, my father's parents had to come to my mother's house, and all four parents had to agree on that marriage. That was the Greek way. My mother spent all day scrubbing the walls and the ceilings of her house because everything had to be perfect for that meeting. E is also for Ernie. My father's youngest brother, brother number 5, he was a brother that didn't have to fight in World War II. And E is finally for envy. Sometimes I would envy Pam and Debbie because they grew up with a father. Mine. The letter R is for rain. For all the rain my parents loved to walk in. For all the rain that never stopped their kisses. R is also for relationships and for return and ruin. What ruins a relationship? And can you ever return once you leave? My father wanted to come back home after he left my mother for Margaret, but my mother said no. Once you leave, you're gone. I think about the husband that I left and how my father and I are so much alike. July 21st, 1944. Sophia Kunjeras to Private Thomas Backos. Hello, my sweet. I received an extra sweet letter from you today. Oh, and honey, thanks for that sweet kiss you gave me. Oh, I sure felt it. So, my little honey used to be a very bad and mean person, huh? Oh, well, that's okay, honey, because I just love bad boys, especially mean ones. I happen to be mean myself at times, so we go good together. But, darling, what you have done in the past doesn't really matter. Everybody makes mistakes, and you were so young. Anyway, it's what you do with your life now that really counts. You have changed into a swell fellow, and I hope you stay that way. I don't want to tell you what's good or bad because you already know that. Don't forget, life is what you make it. And darling, I want to be very proud of you. So you will be a good little boy, won't you? I love you more than life. Here's a kiss. Mwah. Your baby. The letter S is for Sophia, my mother, and for Stanton, my brother, who died in my mother's arms from a heroin overdose at the age of 49. S is for the sadness and struggles that represents life. S is also for soldier and shooting. I got 125 points on my shooting score, my father wrote, but I could have easily gotten 175, but I'm not ready to go in the front lines yet to die. S is for sorry. I never had a chance to ask my father if he was sorry for anything he did. S is also for my father's saxophone. I'd love to hear him play, but whenever he tried to play for me, Pam and Debbie would make fun of him, so he never did. S is for survival, my survival, and the need to steal the love I found living in my father's letters. If I can learn to love my father, then I can learn to love myself. S is also for, and please don't take this the wrong way, but S is also for slut. I heard that when Margaret started working as a barmaid at Club 1011, which was my father's brother's Ernie's bar, he owned that bar. And my father worked there as a bartender. And I heard through the grapevine that when Margaret started working there, that she would give my father sexual favors. Since Margaret is dead, I don't mean any disrespect. The letter O is for over. My mother said, oh, if I had to do it over again, I would have never married your father. O is also for other, like in the other woman and the other children. O is also for outsider. On my street growing up in the 1950s, in the suburbs of Detroit, well, my brother and I were the only children who had an absent father. Where is your father? The kids would ask. Oh, he doesn't live with us. And O is also for onion and oregano. My father made the best Greek hamburgers in the world with plenty of onions and oregano as I would watch him roll the meat into perfect balls. The letter B is for bastard, the name my mother gave my father. Your father is a bastard, and I hope he rots in hell. Bastard also describes Pam and Debbie, the two children my father had with his girlfriend, Margaret. B is for Backos, my last name, the name my father gave me. B is for Belle Isle, the park in Detroit where my father gave my mother her first kiss in 1941. And last but not least, B is for balance. In writing this play, I had to find the balance between the memories I have of my father and the information in the letters that I found and what I could get my mother to talk about. It wasn't easy to get my mother to talk about him. And to tell you the truth, my mother did not know that I wrote this play. In fact, she didn't even know I read the letters because I had to hide them. I have to ask, when you are writing about your family, how much are you supposed to tell? The letter C is for crazy. Crazy is what my father called me when my mother confronted him about sexually abusing me as a child. I was trying to keep it buried, and I told no one except one person when I was 17. And that person told my mother, and my mother was horrified. Is this true? Is this true? I did not want to hurt my mother, so I said, oh, no, 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 it's not true. And so it was left just like that until 22 years later, when I was 39, and my mother called me up and asked me again, is this true? And this time, I said yes. When most of my life, I had said no. C is also for Club 1011. I'm going to bring that up again. That was the bar my Uncle Ernie owned. And I have to tell you that Club 1011 was the most famous gay bar in Detroit in the late 1950s and 60s and 70s. And that's where I would always go and watch all the drag queens dance. And that's where you could get the best hamburger in town. And that's where my mother went to pick up the child support money when my father had it. And that's where I saw my father choke my mother in the alley. And that's where my father met Margaret, the barmaid. As I wear his letters, I notice he writes with the same sway, with the same eagerness of leaves leaving. As his daughter, I write with the same eagerness, yet caught between the page and the pen, caught between the periods and the commas, caught when his letters speak to me in a low hum. These letters where footsteps spill garnet blood, where the sperm of passion wears the memory of the years he walked away. These letters stick to my skin the way salt from the ocean sticks over hungry mountains, needing to survive. I am a thief. I carry no guilt. I carry no remorse. I carry only my emotions ready to strike because I am taking everything that belongs to me. I'm a thief. I'm taking his letters and making them mine. And letter by letter, I am tasting his heart, ripening on the vine, twisting until the tender skin of the grape surrenders. November 17th, 1944. Private Thomas Backos to Sophia Kunjeras. Hello, baby. Boy, can you write some sweet letters. I want you to know that nothing will ever stand in the way of loving you, honey, because my love for you is greater than anything else in the world. I just love you, kid, and that's all there is to it. I guess you know that I fell for you from the first time that we went out, and your heart would refuse to believe me. But I bet that you know now that there will never be another you. There just couldn't be another sweet little baby like you because they don't make them any sweeter or finer. You are Top's baby and always will be. What wonderful days we had together. Oh, they were the happiest moments of my life. I can almost see myself holding you in my arms. Oh, I'm really lucky to have a sweet little baby like you. Fellows like me, they come a dime a dozen, but there is only one in a million like you, sweetheart. And I've been around a bit, honey, and I know what I'm talking about. I will say goodnight to the sweetest little baby in the world. Always your darling, Tommy. The letter D is for doll, as in paper doll, the song my father would sing to me. And because of it, paper dolls have so much meaning to me. I mean, I loved playing paper dolls. But the problem with paper dolls is they are vulnerable. They are so flimsy, and it doesn't take much to rip them or crumple them or step on them. In this fluid culture, there are times when I identify as a paper doll. D is for daughter. My father had three of them. I'm the eldest. The other two he had with his girlfriend, Margaret. D is for drinking. The Thanksgiving when I was 4, when my father still lived with us, he went to the store to get a pack of cigarettes and he returned 4 days later. I saw him stumbling up the stairs. Oh, goody, 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 mommy, 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 daddy's home. Mommy, daddy just threw up. D is also for divorce. This might come as a surprise, but my mother and father never divorced. However, I did. I divorced my husband after 14 years of marriage. So you see, even paper dolls make mistakes. And finally, D is for Delana, my daughter. She is the closest thing to an angel I've ever seen. She taught me how to love unconditionally, and she is responsible for me being here tonight. The letter U is for universal energy. And because we're all energy, where's my father's? Where did his energy go now that he's dead? They say our energy never leaves. They say the energy molecules of Jesus Christ, Einstein, and even my father is in the air we breathe. If so, does one's energy still remain on things we touch? Like when I read the love in my father's letters to my mother, can I extract that love? Can I steal it? Can I make it mine? The letter V is for Valentine. My first Valentine was my father. At least that's what I tell myself. The reality is, my father taught me how to vacuum. I was 4 years old, and there we were, a team tackling the science of dirt. Tiny steps, he would say, tiny steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We glided around the carpet like a team of Olympic skaters. Just me and my Valentine. I remember the day I found out my father had died. My mother called me up on the phone and said, "Well, the bastard's dead. Don't waste your time and money to fly all the way out here just to come to the jackass's funeral. He deserves to be dead." I always told myself that I would spit on his grave. But when I found out he had died, I felt such loss. I remember walking outside, and it was August the 6th, and the sun was out, and I was wearing a yellow dress. And I just walked outside, and I walked to the corner in a daze. And all of a sudden, a car spun around the corner, and I knew the man driving the car. His name was Bruce. He was someone who wanted to date me, but I wasn't interested. But he stopped the car in front of me, and he flings open his door, and like a mindless robot, I got in. "My father died," I said. "Oh, okay, I'm taking you to my place." And when we got to his apartment, he prepared a meal for me while I just sat on his couch without saying a word and just ate. And then he put some music on, and we started to slow dance. And then all of a sudden, he talked about the death of his two children and how he had to let go and surrender. Then he gave me a gentle kiss on the lips. "I need to go home now," I said. And he took me home, and I never saw him again. July 24th, 1944. Sophia Kunjeris to Private Thomas Backos. "Hello, darling. How is my little honey feeling today, huh? Fit as a fiddle, I hope. As for myself, well, I feel as if I'm walking on air. Know why, honey? Because I received two very sweet letters from you today, and I have to pinch myself to see if I'm dreaming or not. Oh, gee, your letters mean the world to me. And to tell you the truth, darling, I never dreamed that you would be writing to me as much as you do. In fact, I never had any idea that you would still be writing to me after all this time. Even now, at times, it is impossible to believe that you love me the way you say you do. It's just like a wonderful dream, and I'm afraid I might wake up someday and find that it was only a dream. Oh, I love you so very much. I remember the last night we were together, walking over Belle Isle Bridge, and you were whistling my last goodbye to you. Oh, darling, I haven't forgotten not one single thing that we did together, all the places we went to, and all the things we talked about. Oh, I'm like an elephant. I never forget anything. Oh, darling, the moments I share with you are moments to be treasured throughout life and never forgotten. Here's your, oh, forever, honey. I just love you. Here's a kiss. Mwah. Your baby. The letter P is for parents, even when they are not around, even when they make mistakes, even when they hurt you. Parents are not perfect, but we have to pretend they are. P is for poverty. As a child, my mother never had a bed to sleep in. She ate mustard sandwiches for dinner, and she copied by hand all of her sheet music for piano and then returned it to save 5 cents. Her form of entertainment involved hunting for rats in the alley. Poverty is something my father never experienced because his family had money. So P is also for party. and his family had a lot of them. P is also for praise and pretty. Growing up, all I ever wanted from my father was to be told I was pretty and how proud he was of me. But all he ever said was, "Why are you wearing your hair like that? You look like an old lady." The letter Q is for questions. I have a lot of them from my father. Some of the more pressing ones are: how did you feel being in jail the day I was born? Did you want me? Did you ever love me? Were you ever sorry for anything? And did you leave these letters for me? The letter K is for kid, an endearing name my father used for my mother. In his letters, he would write, "Ah, you're a swell kid," or "Gee, kid, you're beautiful," or "I'm going to love you forever, kid," and "Kid, you're the best thing that has ever happened to me." I just loved reading that word kid. October 10th, 1944. Private Thomas Backos to Sophia Kunjeras. Hello, sweetheart. How is my baby feeling today? Fine. Well, I hope so. As for myself, I'm feeling swell. Your letters mean a whole lot to me, darling, and I wouldn't know what to do without them. You really are wonderful for writing all those sweet letters to me. You really don't know how lucky I am to have a sweet little baby like you to love and think about all the time. No fooling, honey. Meeting you has been the happiest moment of my life. Do you know, honey, that my folks didn't like you? That was before they met you. I mean, I would talk about you at home and told them what a sweet kid you are, but they wouldn't believe me. But now they say that you are everything I ever said you are and more. My folks are getting to like you quite a bit. Quite a bit, honey. So, honey, I don't love you. I'm only crazy about you, and I won't be in my right mind until I can see you again. So, it must be something beyond love, sweetheart. Don't you think so? So, how can you talk about me marrying one of those Australian girls when you know darn well my love for you is beyond anything in the world? There is no girl in Australia that can compare with you in any way, sweetheart. I love you so terribly much. Always your baby, Tommy. The letter L is for Lucky Strikes. That's the brand of cigarettes my father smoked. And I could always tell when he was in the house visiting because it had a distinct odor. So that was why I was always attracted to men who smoked, because it meant security to me. It meant I had a father, but I know better now. L is also for lucky, because I am lucky. I found out my father could love and did love. L is for love, awosagopo. Even after everything, I want to say I love you, but not for anyone to hear. Of course, L is also for liar. That's what Margaret was, my father's girlfriend, because she changed her last name to Backos and told everyone she was married to my father when she wasn't. The letter M is for marriage. My mother and father got married in 1946. It was a big wedding. 500 people attended. My parents got married in a Greek Orthodox church in Detroit, and they got married sometime in August. And my mother told me that it was so hot that day that all of the candles and the ceremony melted over. When my parents got married, they lived for 2 years with my father's parents on the third floor, which used to be the maid's apartment. M is for money. My mother loved to save it. My father loved to spend it. M is for mother. My mother was very elegant and classy, and she dressed impeccably, and she made all of her own clothes from Vogue patterns. M is for manners. My mother had manners, and she was very kind. When my mother found out about Margaret, she befriended her. She sewed clothes for Pam and Debbie, and she took Margaret shopping all the time. And she even drove Margaret around town in her car because Margaret thought my father was cheating on her. So they were going around town looking for him. M is for Margaret. No one understood what my father saw in her. The letter N is for November. My father was born on November 4th in 1920. N is especially for need. I need to know if he ever loved me like he loved Pam and Debbie. But N can also stand for the words no and never. The letter G is for God. I have no idea if my father believed in one. G is for Greek, my nationality, and for grandmother and grandfather, my yaya and papu. My yaya Kunjeris helped raise me. My yaya Backos taught me how to be a Greek woman. G is for gambling, which my father loved, and many times he would borrow money from papu for bills, and then he would gamble it away again. But one night he came home from Barboot, and he won so much money. He told my mother, "Watch this." And then he proceeded to cover their queen size bed in $100 bills. My mother was ecstatic. G is also for girl. When I was a young girl, I would be jealous of all the other girls who had fathers, and I never understood when some of my girlfriends would say, "Oh, you are so lucky not to have your father around. I hate mine." And G is for grave. I've never been to my father's grave. Maybe someday. The letter I is for I love you, or I will never stop loving you. My father wrote that to my mother in every letter. I will love you forever. I is a very strong letter. Sometimes it can stand on its own, just I. But sometimes it can't. Sometimes an I needs a you. And I heard his voice, fluid, an ocean of cinnamon ink. I saw his letters raining the same color, waves of rumble wheat. I felt the kiss of my birth, the kiss that bed down my past, and the bombs leaving his breath. I tasted the truth from him, changing the wind, changing the color of my life, changing an oasis of innocence into a new moon bursting, shaking open the pages of my future. The letter J is for jail, which my father was in and out of in his 20s and 30s for stupid stuff. He was a spoiled rich kid. And J is also for jealousy because Greek men can be very jealous. When my parents were first married, my father asked my mother, "Did you talk to anyone today?" "No," my mother said. Then, bam, he slapped her across the face. "I saw you talking to those men. Don't ever let it happen again." I think I might have inherited my father's jealousy because I know it didn't come from my mother. The letter W is for water. My father loved the water. He was a licensed lifeguard, but I always felt a little scared when he would grab my hand and take my brother and I into the deep water. So to this day, water still scares me. But I also found out through my father's letters that he was a boxer during the war and won many medals. Tommy the Greek, as he was known, was very popular. W is also for wedding dress. My mother spent $50 on her wedding dress, and it was a very simple, elegant white satin dress. I wonder how much $50 would be today instead of 1946 when she bought it. Well, my mother also wore a veil, and she wore a veil with a 20-foot long train that her aunt made. My father wore a white shirt and a white tuxedo jacket and black pants. Their wedding picture hangs above my bed. W is also for waiting, waiting on those Tuesday nights, waiting for my father to arrive, waiting like my mother did while my father was away at war, waiting. 1942, 1943, 1944, 1945. The whole world was waiting then, waiting for something to change. Father, as your daughter, I embrace and release the last letter Y. Let this letter let this letter penetrate my skin and listen to my yearning heart. Y is for years. It had been years since I last saw my father. Then in 1994, I was having an argument with my then boyfriend about men. You hate men, he said, because of your father. I do not hate men. In fact, I will call him up right now to wish him a happy Father's Day. Hello, Dad. Happy Father's Day. Who is this? He said. Your daughter. What daughter? Debbie's at work and Pam's at the store. You have three daughters, Dad. You have three daughters. There was silence. Then, oh, Sharon, how are you? Good. Just wanted to say happy Father's Day. But bye, Dad. I hung up the phone and cried for an hour. I vowed that I would never talk to him again, and I never did. I told myself that I didn't need my father. He was not important. He didn't want to be, so he wasn't. Of course, I say a lot of things I don't mean. 4 years later, he died. No, poterumu. Ewosegopo. August 6, 2010. Sharon Rula Backos to Thomas Backos. Dear Dad, it's been years since you have died. What do I say to you now? What is there left to say? Sometimes I feel so close to you. I feel I am you. I feel your presence mixing with me, mixing with my energy, making sure I don't make the same mistakes you did. And other times I turn cold as I speak your name. It's not easy to think of your father as evil. But as I write this, I am left conflicted. I want you to know that I don't hate you. I want you to know that. I am your daughter, and I feel privileged to have found the you I never knew. And even though it can never be the way I wanted it to be, I have created a place for both of us to meet, a place to love and be loved, a place called mercy. That is what I'm offering you. I offer you my mercy. Love, your daughter, Sharon. These are the letters I wear for my father. I found his letters. I found his words with wings ready to soar. I found the weight of a man carrying love. I fell in love with my father through his letters. His letters came before the morning of my reflection, before the bite of ghosts on lost tongues. And now I wear his letters as a shield of protection. I wear his letters to victory. I wear his letters against my skin, breathing his smile, breathing him. And again, his words, I will love you forever, explodes and lingers everywhere. Father, as your daughter, I wear your love as I gift you my mercy. Oh, I wish I had a paper doll to call my own, a doll that other fellas cannot steal. Then those flirty, flirty guys with those flirty, flirty eyes will have to flirt with dollies that are real. When I come home at night, she'll be waiting. She'll be the truest doll in all this world. Oh, I'd rather have a paper doll to call my own than have a fickle minded real life girl. The end.